Bravissimo, hip hip, hooray! What a glorious display! Melt the joyous hearts away under the mushroom cloud confetti. A hip hip hooray! For this fireworks display. Mind and body are blown away. What a radiant crescendo! Plastic surgery. Now Willie Wonka, Major Tom, Ollie and Leia have moved on. Signal the final curtain call in all this atomic pageantry.
All right, everybody. So this is apparently part 3. So let me tell you the story of what was going on. So my internet died and I decided, you know what? I'm not going to fight with it. I'm not going to try doing anything. So I hit end and walked away, and I came back and started painting and didn't think anything of it. I don't know how long it was, I don't know if I was downstairs or if I was painting when it turned back on, but apparently the stream turned back on because I don't know why. I hit end. It said, "Do you want to end?" And I said, "Yes, I want to end." And I walked away. And apparently it decided to kick back on and start going. I took a little nap, assuming that the internet was off and everything, and woke up and saw that there was a 48-minute stream by me, apparently of a empty chair. So yeah, I deleted it. It's gone. Yeah, I don't know what happened. So since we're doing a part 2/part 3, we'll do this all again. I don't have my green screen up. It's there. It's there. It's right there. So, and that's just so basically, you know, you guys can see what I'm doing, and I have all the filters turned off and everything. Otherwise, everything would look really, really bad when I decide to paint. Now, I'm going to let you guys know, I am not a professional painter. I am not even a good painter. I just do it because I like it, and eventually I will get better. I guess. Yeah. So, also before we go any further, couple of things. Number one, let me get this part out first. In thanks, Mason. So in light of certain family things and everything else going on, and my wife's job is cutting back hours and whatnot, I have to take on more overtime and whatnot. So streaming has already taken a back seat, and it's gonna unfortunately get pushed back quite a bit further. I'm not saying I'm quitting. I'm not saying I'm done. I'm never going to stream again. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it's going to be a very rare occurrence. Hey, Jim. It's going to be a very rare occurrence, unfortunately. For those that have been here for forever, I want to say thank you for that. And you know, it's been a while, but I want to say thank you to, and this is in no particular order, but I want to say thank you to Marcus and Canop and Pagan and Grumpy and Starstreams. And there's a few other people out there that I might be forgetting, God, Doc. Without your guys' help, I would have never have even gotten this far. So thank you again. And I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all of you guys that come and watch my stupid ass do what I do on here. I don't know why you guys keep coming back, but hey, thank you. I appreciate it. So before we get into painting, there was something I wanted to show Mason right when the internet came out. Yeah, JT. Right when the internet came out, there was something I wanted to show Mason. So hold on one second. I'll be right back. As most of you guys know, I like tabletop gaming. I am not like crazy into the tabletop scene. I played Star Wars, the role-playing game. I played Battletech. I played Shadowrun a little bit. D&D, just a little bit. Like, I mean, a little bit. So at my daughter's birthday party, I was talking to somebody and I brought up Battletech, which then went into Warhammer, which went into other tabletop games as well. And he said he had an extra book that he wanted to give me. So this is it. I have, my stream is like way behind. I don't know what's going on here. But yeah, so I got this book. It's called Eisenhorn the Omnibus by Dan Abnett. Abnett. And so I got gifted this, and I'm going to read it. It's going to be a slow read. I got other things that I have to read first. For those of you that don't know, let me transition to this, and then I'll come back to Warhammer. For those of you that don't know, I have another channel. You can look into the description. I'll put a link here. And I will show you here as well. Hold on a second. Let me bring this back up. Put you over here. Make you big. Change the scene. So for those of you that don't know, I have another channel. I do lore. Right now I'm focusing primarily on Battletech. I will get to other things eventually, but these take a lot of time for me to do, and I very much enjoy going back to my Battletech roots. Well, if you guys want, I'll talk about how I got into it and how long I played and all of that stuff. Yeah, but so back to Warhammer. I know very, very little about Warhammer. I know there's an Emperor of Man. I know there's the Imperium of Man. I know there's a few bad guys like Tyranids and the orcs. That's all I really know. To be 100% honest, that's all I really know. So I watched a few faction videos, like ones where they broke down like a lot of the different factions, and then a couple stuck out to me, and I watched like actual dedicated videos to those factions. And I gotta say that if I were to play Warhammer, well, let me back that up. I probably will never play Warhammer, but if I were to buy miniatures and paint them, it would probably be the two factions that stuck out to me being the more fascinating of the two, and that would be the orcs and the Adeptus Mechanicus. I don't know why, but the orcs, like, okay, the orcs just seem like a ton of, like, if you were to play and the lore behind them, they just seem like a ton of fun, just absolute ridiculousness. And they can will anything into existence. Well, almost anything, but they can will things into existence, basically. I think that's super cool. The other thing, the other faction that really stuck out to me was, as I said, Adeptus Mechanicus, or the Mechanicus. I'm not sure which is which. I know they're both the same. I just don't know when to use Mechanicus and when to use Adeptus Mechanicus, but either way, I know they're the same faction. The Adeptus Mechanicus remind me of Comstar. So Comstar is like the technology, techno wizard, pseudo religious, like group in Battletech, and they control all the communications, the technology, etc. And the Mechanicus like takes that to a whole new level, to like a whole new crazy like to just the stratosphere and craziness as far as technology and worshiping machines and all of that. So I find that kind of interesting. That's probably why they appeal to me so much. Sentient fungus and toaster fuckers. Okay, you got me, Mason. You got me. I mean, the Space Marines are cool and all, but it seems like those are like the most popular factions. And if you can't tell by my hat, I'm from Chicago. Everybody's a Cubs fan. I didn't want to be a Cubs fan because everybody's a Cubs fan, so I want White Sox. That's just how it is. So yeah, I do have to move my chair, my mic, and my camera, so I'll probably put this in a be right back while I move everything. I don't think you want to hear the mic booming when I, slam it on the table. And I don't think you guys want to get sick to your stomach while I'm moving the camera around. So I'll put us in a be right back. But hold on. You like Adepta Soriatus and Astra Militarum. What? Okay. I am a Warhammer idiot. Like, I know nothing. I just discovered there's a fantasy branch of Warhammer. I had no idea. I thought Warhammer 40K was just Space Marines, Tyranids, the Chaos, the Eldars, and, a few other things. Like, I didn't know very much about it. And so I know nothing. I literally know nothing. I had no idea there was like Age of Sigmar and this whole old fantasy stuff. I think the older fantasy stuff, I don't even know if it's produced that way. I'm American. What do you want, Mason? I'm American. My English, look, in America, we know two things about the English language. We know slang and we speak it poorly. That's it. I mean, I don't know. I don't back when, hey, Pagan, I went to a Games Workshop, like freestanding, brick and mortar store, and there were some people playing in there, and I didn't like how I didn't enjoy, back then I was fresh out of, Battletech by maybe 3 or 4 years, and I didn't like how fast things were moving. But it does make sense. I can understand why people enjoy that. Battletech, if you play classic Battletech, I mean, 30 minutes of a turn, back and forth, that's like 6 seconds of battle. So I can understand why people don't like it. I get it. But I don't think I'll ever play. Yeah, Pagan, I'll tell you the story real quick. So apparently my internet went out. I got up to show Mason this book that somebody gifted me because they had doubles of it. And borrowed, gifted. I'm not sure what they're doing with it, but I'm going to read it. Anyways, I got up, I sat down, and everything was stopped. It said that Twitch and YouTube's connection had been interrupted. So I hit end. It said, "Do you sure you want to end?" I said, "Yeah, I want to end." And I walked away. So either I went downstairs or I started painting and didn't know that it was running while I was sitting there painting, or downstairs. I took a little nap. I woke up and yourself and Jim and I think Diz were like, left comments saying, "Hey, I hope something happens in this stream soon." I had no idea. I had no clue. I had absolutely no clue. So for that, I'm sorry. I deleted the stream and it's gone now, but apparently there was a stream of an empty chair and an empty room, and God, I'm so glad I didn't take a shower and walk out of the bathroom naked, because that would have been really bad and embarrassing and really bad. So anyways, I'm going to put this in a be right back. I'm going to move my mic and my camera and my monitor. Oh, that's another thing. So, money is tight right now, but I found something that I'm going to see if I can find used on eBay for like $20, because I can afford $20 plus $10 shipping. That I can do that. So this is a quick story, I promise. I went looking for a camera to do miniature streams, right? Because that'd be something I would like to do going forward, mostly on this channel, not the scarred memory core, but a lot of the cameras people kept recommending were 15, like at the low end, $200, $250, all the way on up to, multi-$1,000 cameras, and obviously I can't afford that. So I kept looking, and I found these things called document cameras, and they seem to be pretty good for the price. I found a couple that were in the $90 price range that had two settings, 1080 and then 4K. 1080 is 60 frames a second, and the 4K was 30 frames a second. So should be pretty good. Like I said, they're about a $90 price range, brand new. I figure maybe since we're out of, the beer disease, the beer pandemic that went through a few years ago, maybe people are selling them used on eBay. Maybe I could score one for like $20 on eBay, and I might do that. But until then, you guys are just going to have to deal with the webcam and it trying to autofocus all the time, and I'll figure it out, right? I'll figure it out. So that was something I'm looking at, and we'll see what happens. So I'll be back. I'm going to put us in a be right back. I'm going to move my stuff, and we'll get started. Alrighty. Okay, I think we're back. Let me make sure the mic is okay. Looks like it's picking me up. Looks like the camera's in an okay spot. Get the light on. Let me grab my headphones so we can jam out to some music. Let me get the chat back up so I can see what the hell is going on. I think we're good though. I think we're good. I hope. Whoa. All right. Fat squirrel. Get this up. Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm trying to do this left-handed. It's not as easy as I thought it would be. Setting everything back up. You guys will have to let me know if the music audio is okay. I can't really see the audio levels because of the way I have my monitor set up. All right. So, man, I really need to get a different setup for this sort of thing. It's just stuff everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Shrink this down. Okay. So this is what I started painting earlier today. I'm going with thanks, Mason. Thanks. I appreciate you. This is going to be the Davian Brigade of Guards. I started with a blue base. I have not. Can I make this brighter? I think this is as bright as it will safely go. But I did the first layer of base coat on these, going with a nice deep imperial blue. Using nope, that's not it. Using imperial blue. That's what we're using. And I haven't decided if I want to do a black wash or a blue wash, but I think I'm going to go black and then just touch up the panels again one by one. So yeah, that's my game plan. But yeah, we're going to use, so Imperial, God, you guys got me talking Warhammer now. The color scheme for the Davian Brigade of Guards is red, white, and blue. Primary color is blue, and then white and red are the secondary and third colors. So the number 2 and number 3 colors. So that's what I plan on doing, and talking nerds stuff with you guys. So who's all into the Warhammer stuff? I know Pagan is a little bit. I know for sure Mason is. Sounded like Zeno was into the oh man, I forgot my water bottle. Crotch shot. Sorry. Forgot my water. There's still some in there. We need, oh no, I kicked over my camera. All right. All right, that should be good. As I was telling Mason, I know very, very, very little about the lore of Warhammer. I was gifted a book and kind of started to read up on the lore, or listen to the lore, I should say. I still don't know much about it. Like I know about the Imperium of Man. I know about the God Emperor, and I know a little bit about Horus's heresy. I know some stuff, but I don't know a lot. I don't know. Yes, I've been watching. That's the guy who I've been watching. That's the exact guy I've been watching. I watched him, and I don't know who the other guy was that kind of did a like the like a new person breakdown of all the factions, or at least the like most known ones. So I've been watching those. I like the guy that you mentioned. I like his style. I think he's pretty good. I like him a lot. I think we're just gonna go blue everywhere. Oh, and you probably can't see it on the camera, but I did hollow out the gun ports. So yeah, I would like to get to their level of oh yeah, glasses, so I don't go cross-eyed. I would like to get to their level of delivering lore. I think they're really good, and they do a very excellent job. Him, so like my favorite lore guys when it comes to battletech is Tex Talks and Sven Vanderplank. I really like their delivery. I mean, honestly, I like Tex because he sounds like he, you know, gargled whiskey and gravel for 2 hours before he did his talk. He just sounds awesome. He's got like the perfect radio voice for doing that sort of thing. And then there's me with my like squeaky voice trying to read lore and sound cool. I don't do, and I don't know how they do it, but it takes me hours and hours to record because I screw up so many words, mispronunciate them, stumble, stutter, forget my, even though I have the script opened up right in front of me, forget exactly how I wanted to do an inflection or anything really. It's quite annoying. I don't know how they do it as well as they do. But then again, they've been doing it for years. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. When the first models I didn't drill the barrels, and then I tried to paint them and it just came out really bad. So I was like, you know what? I'm getting a little mini drill or pin bite, whatever they call it, and decided, you know, I am from now on, I'm drilling the barrels. I'm not playing around no more with that. But yeah, if you guys want to talk, whatever you guys want to talk tonight, I'm down. If I don't know about it, I'll tell you straight out. Hey, I just don't know about it, and you guys can fill me in, and I'll learn about it as we go, and I'll probably end up watching said lore videos on them. For those of you that are coming here and are, you know, going to check out my other channel, I only have 2 videos on there, but I really like to be thorough in what I'm doing. So a lot of the times what I'll do is I'll pick a topic and then I go on sarna.net and start looking at where they're pulling the information out book-wise. And then if I have the book, I go and I read the book and take notes. And then from there, like if they have names or events that are highlighted that I can click on, I will go to those names and events, and also, you know, if I have the book, I'll read it. If I don't, I'll just use Sarna for that little bit of little bit of information, which I know is not good because some of their information isn't up to date and accurate. But you know, it's something, I guess. because I don't have all the books. I wish I had all the books, but I don't have all the source books and era digests and historicals. I just have what I have. I've started collecting the PDFs that are available through Catalyst Game Labs. So that way I can be more knowledgeable about what I'm talking about. So I have like 8 of those. I get them when they're on sale. So I joined Catalyst Game Labs and website, and I got on their newsletter. So whenever they're running a sale, I jump on it immediately. And if it's a source book I need, I'll grab it. So like one source book I needed, it was like a $40 source book. I got it on sale for like $14.99. Yes, it's a PDF, but that also makes it easier for me to grab any images I need off that source book as well, since generally they have the pictures of the thing that I want to talk about. But it does, between work and family, it takes me a long time to research those. I mean, some of it is my basic knowledge, and I have some older rule books and technical readouts and other source books available to me, but they're not in PDF form. So, I mean, I refer to those too, but you know, if I need a picture, it's a pain in the ass to try to get it off my book and onto the computer and in a good resolution. You know what? We'll just paint it all blue. Why not? I'm going to come back and hit that missile face with gunmetal anyways. So we'll just paint it all blue anyways. Kind of darken it up for the gunmetal gray. Yeah, that's not bad. But yeah, I find this enjoyable, and lately I've not been feeling the video game scene as much as I have been in the past. Like I don't know what it is, but I just am not finding the video game scene hitting like it used to. Maybe it's just because I got too much going on in my head or what, but I can't seem to relax with video games the way I used to. I don't know if anybody else has that problem, but I definitely am not feeling video games right now. I know some people advocate for a bigger brush, and I probably should be using a bigger brush, but I'm trying to not get in the habit of using a bigger brush all the time. Plus, I'm not that experienced, so putting down too thin coats is not as easy if I use a big brush. I feel the same way, Zeno. I wish I had, so I wish the source books that I'm getting that I could afford both the paper and the PDF, but I can't. I'm a bit of a brokey these days. I'm sure some of you guys know one of my daughters had to have some back surgery. So between time off and surgical costs and, you know, everything else that was going on, I just don't have the money. But I want to continue to do what I have fun with. That doesn't cost me much money. So yeah, but I agree with you. I like paper over reading on a computer, but it does have its advantages. You know, I can load up all those PDFs on a thumb drive and bring them with me on my wife's laptop or, you know, whatever. So I do enjoy that. That is nice. As far as like, I love video games. I do. And I've grown up playing video games and hanging out with my friends that also play video games. And I just don't know what it is as of late. Like when I have free time and I'm like, you know, I'm going to play a video game. I start playing and then within a few minutes I'm looking and I've kind of put my plastic piles of shame way off to the side and kind of, I don't want to say forgot about them, but just wasn't painting them. Mostly because of time, because it takes time to set it all up, take it all down, clean it all up. But I like I said, I just lately I go to play the video games and I find myself after a few minutes just saying I'd rather be doing something else. This is quite a bit more relaxing. And I don't like a lot of the games that I enjoy playing or have enjoyed playing, they're competitive. You're always, you know, or they're survival games or piloting games. And like, you're constantly having to focus on everything. And I think maybe it's just in my old age, it's become more taxing for me and I just don't want to do it. Old. Yeah. Old. Like 44 years old is super old. But I don't know, man. Like video games just aren't hitting the way I'd like them to anymore. And I have some good games and I've played through some good games recently. But it's just, I don't know, man. It's hard to describe. And the games that do hit for me more these days, you know, you can laugh if you want. I don't really care. But the games that have been hitting for me a lot lately have been like Last Epoch, Diablo 2, Project Diablo, like those style of games. I'm not finding the hyper aggressive FPS and even third person games very enjoyable these days. As I said, I don't know 100% what it is. It just not digging them as much. I'll read your comment here in a second, Zeno. I saw you put something up when I looked over my shoulder. Hold on. Got a little globby. Especially in that crack. In the crack. Get that right there. All right, let me see what you had to say, Zeno. Battletech doesn't have any Xenos. All right, well, let me backtrack that. Battletech did have Xenos early on. I want to say it was late 80s, early 90s. They introduced a alien race called the Teate, and they're like primitive bird people things, and they were hated so much by the community that they didn't uncanonize them. They just retconned the story, saying they were so far away that nobody would ever find them again, basically. Battletech Gothic, which is like a offshoot of Battletech. It's not part of the Battletech universe. They just decided to do, I don't know, Halloween type thing. And it's kind of like Battletech meets Warhammer kind of deal, like Warhammer 40K kind of deal. And they're not Xenos, but they call them abominations. And what they are is genetically modified humans into weapons, big, scary monster looking things. But no, there's no Xenos in Battletech. Oh, military vehicles, Gundam, Warhammer. The only thing I don't like about Warhammer is how damn expensive their models are. Like, like real talk, when I found out about the Adeptus Mechanicus and the orcs, I immediately went online a few days ago and was like, I'm going to order some Adeptus Mechanicus to paint. And then I saw how much they were. I was like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. I can buy five force packs. I can buy 5 force packs of Battletech mechs for 2 entire starter sets of Battletech for the price they're charging for 12 models. That to me, that is absolutely insane how much they're charging for their plastic. And I was watching a gentleman by the name of Big Red 40K the other day, and he was telling me that Games Workshop posts 30% profit 30% profit per box they sell. And that's not cost versus or profit versus materials. That is straight up their profit after cost of materials, shipping, storing, warehousing, logistics, everything. So per box of Warhammer is 30% profit straight up for them. Each box you buy. That is crazy. Like I know a lot of tabletop wargaming miniatures and stuff like that. They're posting 10%, 15% profit, not 30%. Hey, Fire. How you doing? Yeah, I agree, Mason or Daddy. That sounds so wrong. That sounds so wrong. But yeah, I agree. Honestly, I've gotten back into reading a lot more. I've been reading the Game of Thrones novels. Oh, I'm sorry. A Song of Ice and Fire. I wanted to correct myself before one of you degenerates corrected it for me. But yeah, I've been reading A Song of Ice and Fire. I got that Eisenhorn book I need to start. Um I am currently researching for the next video for my other channel. Um since I don't even know how many people are in here right now watching. Um it- so yeah, I don't know how many people are in here watching, whether it's on Twitch or on YouTube, it doesn't matter. I'm not doing this for a big audience anyways. If I was, I'd probably be picking a different topic and doing hot takes on like politics, because that seems to get people riled up and to click on your stuff. But I'm not that kind of guy. So what I was going to say is, getting in those grooves a little much. The next thing I'm researching is the first ever battle mech that was fielded in battletechlore, and that is called the Mackie. I'm going to tackle it similar to how oh, I'm going to tackle it similar to how Text Talk did, where I'm going to explore not just the mech, but the reasons behind them coming up with such a war machine to begin with. I thin that down a little too much. I might need another palette sheet here. Yeah, that's just not good. That's fine. It's the first coat. If it's all right if it's a little glazed. It'll be fine. What's up, Bindi? How you doing, man? Yeah, the Mackie. I'm a big fan of the Mackie. It's obviously the grandfather of all battle mechs, and you know, it's not the best mech. It's not the best mech at all. Because obviously it was the first one, but it's like the concept behind it is so cool. Mostly because of the backstory of what was going on in the universe in lore wise. So I think that's, I don't know, I find it very interesting. Plus, there's a lot of people that cover lore, but I don't see many people cover the industry side of sci-fi lore. Oh, nice. Um, okay. I I haven't played BattleTech seriously in 20 years. So I just want to preface that, okay? I am a intro tech. I am an intro tech and clan invasion guy, okay? So I want to make that very clear. I am I didn't do Dark Age. I didn't do Ill Clan. None of that. So I want you guys to be perfectly clear with where I'm at in my gaming history. I was the first guy to get my little group into battletech. Now, I first started off as the Draconis Combine, and then they needed me. So our little group, when we first started, there was only a couple of us. So then they wanted me to play the Drax, and I think it was the Free Worlds League, because nobody wanted to play Purple Bird for some reason. As our group grew, I went back to playing Draconis Combine. When it grew a little bit more, I decided I wanted to, because I also had to kind of be game master. I figured it only made sense that I also play as Comstar. So I played Comstar for the longest time. And even when our group had kind of ended, and there was only a couple of us left, I was still playing Comstar, or I had a mercenary company. Metal Gear. I hope mining's going well for you, Bindi. Yeah, that's kind of how I am too. Plus, I haven't kept up with the lore 100% after, say, um, the FedCom Civil War. So, like, I know about the HPG blackout. I know about the Blakist era jihad. Sorry, YouTube. Come at me, bro. We're talking about tabletop gaming. Um, I know about the Blakist jihad. I know about basically Comstar getting nuked and not existing anymore. I know about all that stuff, but like the fact that Clan Wolf continues to just dominate the setting kind of upsets me. And I like, look, I'm not asking for them to be destroyed, nuked into oblivion, because like I don't think killing off a faction is necessarily a good thing. I'm just saying that I don't want the wolves to continue to win everything all the time. The very little bit of lore that I know from the Clan era is Jade Falcon and Clan Wolf went at it for Terra, and now Wolf is the Ill Clan. In my personal opinion, I think it would have been much cooler for the setting and the lore if Jade Falcon would have won. I think having Jade Falcon declare themselves Ill Clan, like win Terra and declare themselves the Ill Clan, would be far better story than the Wolves winning Terra and claiming Ill Clan. I kind of agree with you, Fire. Like, I really do agree with you with all three of those points you just put up. I agree 100%. And I also think that, to be honest, not having Comstar, I think, kind of hurt the setting more than it helped. I mean, you could still have Comstar with the HPG blackout, but once again, I think if you are creative enough, you could have far better stories than anything else right now, currently. You know, because like I said, I am a frequent visitor of Big Red 40K, and you know, he has 60, 70, 80 people watching him all the time, so it's not like I get any sort of special attention. But his chat community and himself will answer questions that I have about the Ill Clan era, the Blakist Jihad era, and to me, it doesn't seem like many of the people in the BattleTech community are very happy that things have gone the way they have gone with Clan Wolf and the Blakist era and everything else that's been going on. So, and I heard probably one of the biggest points of contention in the last couple of years was Dominions divided with Clan Ghost Bear, which, look, oh yeah, I forgot to say, the other faction that I played was a clan faction. I played Jade Falcon for a very short period of time before a different person took it over. But anyways, oh, you were just on a Streamfire? Yeah, I'm in there quite often. If I'm not at work or dealing with family stuff, I'm in his streams quite often. I enjoy Big Red a lot. The community, blah, 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 blah. The community that he has built over there is really nice and really good. They know their stuff very well inside and out, and it's nice to have conversations with them and be like, hey, look, I don't know, like I don't know. And nobody's ever once made fun of me. Nobody's ever once been like, oh, well, you talk Battletech, but you don't know what's going on right now. And it's like, man, I played the tabletop game from 1991 to 2000 to basically 2001. Like, get off my butt, man. Like, and then I got married, I went to college, I had kids. Like, I can't stay up on that stuff all the time, right? That's just how it was, you know. I'm not mad that I missed out on all that stuff. It's just, you know, it is what it is. Shit, life happens. You know, you can't. I wish I could say I've continuously played and kept up with BattleTech for the last 35 years, but I haven't. I feel the same way, Mason. Dante, I feel the same way. Yu-Gi-Oh and BattleTech got back in for Gothic stuff because I like the mechs, and for my Black Warriors design fits the lore. Oh, very cool. I'm thinking about picking up some of the Gothic stuff, but I'm not sure. Like right now, just money's like super tight. Right now, and I'm trying not to spend money. I have a coupon, a 20% off coupon for anything I'd like at CGL. I haven't used it yet. So I want to tell you a story about a potential elitist. So I got a comment on I removed it because, I feel like it's not helping anybody out. And the guy is being, in my opinion, either an elitist or a gatekeeper. And either way, I'm not cool with that. So he basically said I was stealing from other content creators because the information and the way it is presented is how other content creators do it. And I basically said to him, I don't know how I'm supposed to differ my information when the information is the same information on battletechlore that has been established for the last 30 years. So it's not like I can just come up with new information. And on top of that, I haven't seen you on anybody else's intro to battletech lore telling them that they stole from somebody else, because basically anybody and everybody who does the intro to battletech lore pretty much does it the same way. Sure, they might leave certain information out. Some other people might might add information, but it's all basically the same. There's very little difference between it. And like I was explaining to some of the guys in my Discord, that if you watch enough, for example, if you watch enough retrospective reviews of, say, like Star Wars: A New Hope, if you watch enough of them, they're all going to start sounding the same. They're all going to talk about the same stuff. And the information, same thing, has not changed in 40 years since those movies have been released. It's not like new information comes out about Star Wars: A New Hope. Everybody knows the story behind it. The Gothic stuff is larger scale. Okay. Sounds like a Nintendo piece. I've not been happy with how Nintendo's been doing their stuff as of late. My kids want a new Switch, but I almost don't want to give them any money because of what they've been doing lately. But I'm sure I'll probably get suckered into buying a Switch for probably not this Christmas, but next Christmas. This Christmas, I hate to say it, but it's going to be a little late. I mean, the kids kind of know what's going on. We're not really being secretive about it. Oh man, that was bad. We're not really being secretive about it with the kids. They know what's up. They know what's going on. I think it's better to tell the kids the truth when it comes to what's going on in the family instead of trying to hide it from them. I as much as I looked at my dad as like the coolest, most badass guy ever, he did show me vulnerability when, money things or, emotional thing. Right. Exactly, Zeno. Like, I don't know how the guy wanted me to do it. Like, I, like, I don't understand it. Like, I'm sure I could have read it straight off of sarna.net or like, the CGL website, and he probably still would have been like, oh, you stole this. I didn't steal anything. I like Zeno said, I don't know how many times you can rewrite it and make it sound different when it's been covered. You know, you just type in Battletech intro lore and there's like 87 plus videos and they almost all sound the same. They all cover the same info. They all, you know, some of them will leave certain info out. Sven probably did the fastest intro to Battletech I've ever seen. He clocked in under 10 minutes covering the intro to Battletech. 10 minutes. It was just under 10 minutes for the whole thing. And I couldn't believe it. But then again, he did not cover like the history of the factions. He didn't cover like how the story got to where it is currently. It was just, this is Battletech in 3025. Here's the factions. Here's who's in charge. Here's who's fighting each other, and moved on. Is that a good thing? I don't know. But I kind of wanted to approach it like a lot of the other people did and assume that some people that might watch it might not know a damn thing about Battletech. So that's how I approached it. And it's funny because he's like, I stole it from a bunch of people. I tried to present the information in a different way than other people did, but it still comes out the same way. I even had my wife look over the scripts and view other people's videos and was like, okay, like you're covering the same stuff, but it sounds different enough. I okay, I want to try to answer um Dante first, or I know him as Mason. So I don't understand the love of Nintendo myself. Like, Nintendo was cool in the 80s and early 90s with, you know, the Nintendo Entertainment System and then eventually the Super Nintendo. So my love of Nintendo kind of faded as Sega CD, the first PlayStation, Jaguar, as those were taking off, I became less of a Nintendo person and more those type of consoles, and the games that they were offering were, in my opinion, more young adult oriented and not, you know, super sanitized kid friendly stuff. I'm not saying there's not a place for that. I'm just saying I had moved on. So that's me. I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying I had moved on. Now, as far as everybody else's love for Nintendo and what they have to offer, I get it. They have a large base because of the kid-friendly material for the most part. And then a lot of people latch onto it for nostalgia. So I get it. I understand it. I am not a fan of their practices as of late. They are, and they have been for a long time. They are the most litigious video game company in the world. And sometimes their lawsuits are valid, but a lot of the other times they're not. But people love them, I guess. Now, as far as Warhammer lore, I know very little. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I know X, Y, and Z about Warhammer, because I don't. I know nothing about Warhammer. Well, let me take that back. I know very little about Warhammer. I know about the Space Marines. I know about The first ever Space Marines, the what are they called? The Thunder something, the Thunder Boys, the Lightning. I don't remember what they're called. I know about them. I know about the Emperor of Man. I know about the Imperium. But my knowledge is very, very, very limited. And yeah, that's. Oh, I know about the Orcs and the Adeptus Mechanicus, or as Mason would call them, toaster fuckers. I know about them. That's all I know about. Now, as far as BattleTech goes, I love the lore of BattleTech. First main reason, the two biggest reasons are there is not any aliens. No aliens. Just humans doing human stuff in space. The other thing that I like about BattleTech is that most of the technology really is not that far-fetched and is relatively grounded versus other sci-fi. I'm not saying that there's sci-fi out there that's not even more realistic, because there is. But what I'm saying is as a sci-fi setting, when I was a kid, you know, you pretty much grow up knowing about Star Wars, Star Trek, Babylon 5, right? And that's your exposure to the sci-fi stuff. And when I found out about BattleTech and how it had no aliens, no teleporting stuff, it appealed to me in a way that other things at that time just simply did not. Am I saying that Star Wars and Star Trek are bad because they have those things? I am most certainly not. But what I am saying is that I found BattleTech to be far more interesting than the other franchises. So I dove headfirst into it. And honestly, so let me back that up even further. I gotta rest my hand for a minute. Hey, Cosmic. Yes, there are the Teate. There is the Teate, but correct me if I'm wrong, they did not canonically get rid of them. They just retconned it and said they're so far away that humans will never interact with them anytime soon. Oh, well, that's cool, Zeno. I'm glad I could introduce you to BattleTech. I think it's really cool. I think it's one of the coolest things ever. Honestly, as I said, so in 1991, I was 10 years old. Sorry, I had to get a drink, and I got to rest my hand. I work in manufacturing and I use my hands a lot, so my hands get sore kind of quick lately. I was 10 in 1991, and my friend that lived down the street, his older brother played Magic the Gathering, D&D, and I wanted to play Magic the Gathering and I wanted to play D&D, but my parents were very fundamentalist Christian and did not want me playing Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering. So I would buy packs of Magic cards and keep them at my friend's house. Now, as far as D&D goes, I never got into it because I wanted to have my own rule books and understand everything. And I decided, there was a comic book store that my grandma went to or knew about, and I asked her to take me there, and they had comics and tabletop gaming, and I saw battletech and was like, there's a giant stompy robot on it that says nothing about aliens. It's just humans and big huge robots shooting the shit out of each other. Yeah, I want to play that. I want to play that. So my grandma helped convince my parents to let me play. You know what? This paint kept getting too thin on the wet palette, so I think I'm gonna use a regular palette and just thin it out. My grandma helped convince my parents to let me buy it, and then she let me come over and do chores until I could afford it. And then that's how I bought the first Battletech box set that I have. I still have those models, but back then I was terrified to paint, so I didn't paint my models, and I just, played with them that way. But then again, back then, painting models, like, I don't want to say it was a mystery, but we didn't have the internet back then, and understanding how to use enamel paints and all of that, and it was like mad scientist stuff, right? So I just didn't, and I regret it, because I think I would have learned a lot more if I would have started back then, and I would be much further along instead of doing this horrible slop that I do now. I mean, honestly, they're not that bad. Like, I'm obviously in my beginning stages, but I've made a few mechs, or painted a few mechs, and they came out pretty damn good in my opinion. Like this guy. Whoa. Focus. This guy came out pretty good. I liked how he came out. This giant stompy Atlas boy. Let's see if he can. He just does not want to focus, but he came out not too bad. These are like, I understand that this is like the middle stage, the ugly duckling stage. They'll get better looking. The ones that I'm working on right now. Oh, dude, Granny came in super clutch. Yeah, the Teate. Yeah, they got moved. They got moved. The bird people. The bird people. Like, honestly, when so I had heard about the Teate. I don't have the book that they're in, but I heard about the Teate from a friend that had the book that read it. And then the clan invasion happened, and I bought the first, I don't know if I have it, but I have one of the first books where the clans start invading, the novels, not the source books, start invading the inner sphere. And I thought, when people were like, blah, blah, Jade Falcon, I thought the Teate were back. And I'm like, oh God, this is going to be so bad. This is going to be so bad. The bird people are back. And then I found out that they were not, in fact, the bird people. So yeah, that was kind of funny. That was definitely kind of funny. I'm going to use a different brush, because that brush is just not doing it for me. What brush should we use? I need to get, right now all I have is synthetic brushes, so I really need to get a new set of brushes, to be honest with you. No, that one's just not going to hold very much paint. That one either. And we'll try this one. I need to get new synthetics. Wait, what? Are you serious, Cosmic? I saw you guys had put up a couple of videos, but I didn't get a chance to really look at them. Are you serious though? Like for real? For those of you that are new and got here because of Battletech or are watching because of Battletech, I also used to play a game called Star Citizen. I still have an account, but I don't have any spaceships on it, so I can't play. Like I don't have a starter ship. I don't have any of that. So yeah, I was heavily invested in Star Citizen for almost 3 years, but not anymore. I'm out. I'm out. I couldn't handle it anymore. I just couldn't. Could not handle the mess that it became. So I got out. If you okay, so let me explain something about Star Citizen. If you are looking for a really cool, innovative game that's still in an alpha state and has a lot of bugs, crashes, and many other things going on with it, it's a cool game. If you're somebody that is looking to have fun in space, it's fun. It can be very fun. If you are somebody that, wow, is looking for a game that has all of its features in, is ready to go, and you want to get into the development of it because it is, I watered that down too much. If you're somebody that wants to get into it because it's in early development and you want to follow the development and get involved with it and all of that, then I would highly recommend you stay away, because what they say and do is not generally what happens. It's not a good situation all around in my opinion. But take that for what it's worth from a guy that played it for 3 years. Can it be fun? Yes. Can it be absolutely stunning, amazing? Yes. Is it the best game ever made? Not yet. And it will eat into your wallet if you allow it. But that's all I want to say about Star Citizen, because Star Citizen, it just frustrates me. I wish I wish it was in a better state. I honestly, if it was in a better state, probably would still be there. Honestly, I'd probably still be there. Probably still playing. It's sad because most of the people I started playing with don't play anymore. And after I quit, some people still played. I'm not asking people to quit because I quit. I mean, what kind of an ass would do that? But one by one, I started hearing from them. Yeah, I don't really play anymore. Yeah, I'm kind of done with it. So it's not just me. It's not just me. Because for a while I thought it was just me. But anyways, I don't want to talk about Star Citizen anymore. Let's keep it on tabletop gaming and stuff. Hey, Sliver. Yeah, let's keep it on other nerd stuff. Tabletop gaming, sci-fi lore. I'm good on Star Citizen for a while now. Thanks guys. Thanks Cosmic. Thank you, Cosmic. But no, seriously, thanks for informing me. I will watch that video later, maybe tonight. I don't have to work tomorrow morning. So how you guys all been? What other nerd stuff you guys want to get into? Any good movies or TV shows I need to know about? I haven't watched a good sci-fi TV show in a while. Although I could always throw in my Blu-rays of Battlestar Galactica again. It's another fantastic sci-fi setting that I just absolutely adore. Absolutely adore it. Scythe. What is that? What is that about? And I should watch One Punch Man, but I don't. Mostly because I have so many streaming services, and honestly, I should probably just, you know, do the bad boy thing. But I'm always afraid that I'll get caught doing that sort of thing. Wolfpack, what's up? An engine building asymmetric competitive board game set in an alternate history of 1920s period. Nice. Um, I don't mind alternate history. I like Fallout. I like Fallout a lot. I like their lore. I also like how I also like how as you progress through the story, find out what the vaults really are. I haven't played Fallout in a long time. I played the first one, the first two when they were top down. Really enjoyed those. And then when Fallout 3 came out, I really liked that. Fallout 4 wasn't bad, but it definitely was not what I was expecting. The storyline was okay, I guess. But I really enjoyed the base building. I was the premier drug dealer in Fallout 4. If you needed jet in the wasteland, I was your man. I was your man. Was your man. Gaia gear. Oh, that's cool. It is not a Gundam Wolfpack. It is BattleTech, and I'm painting a Wolverine currently. Um, if you look at the description of the stream, that'll tell you everything you need to know about my painting abilities. I am absolute trash, but I find it relaxing, and I hadn't streamed in a while, and I felt like doing this instead of playing video games. So this is where we're at. And now we're just here, you know, watching me horribly paint a model and talking sci-fi, and I'm having a blast. I think honestly this has been very relaxing for me. I hope you guys feel the same way. Been kind of having a rough go of it as of late, but this has been very, very fun. Yeah, that other brush I was using, I think it's time for that one to go into the trash. Interesting, interesting. Ooh, that sucks, Wolf. That sucks. That sucks. Sorry to hear about that. I haven't been attacked and get my hand hurt, and I was going to make that white. It's all right. I can fix it later. I'll just require 15 coats of white. But I work in manufacturing, so I won't tell you what company I work for, but I make tires, and there is a lot of using my hands. So you'll see me occasionally take breaks here because my forefinger and my forefinger and my thumb start to hurt after a while. As I was telling the guys earlier, I guess that's the perks of getting old. That is the perks of becoming old. All right, so we got a couple of Gundam fans in here. We got some Warhammer fans in here. We got some battletech in here. What are some other good sci-fi things you guys are into? It doesn't have to be new. It can be old as hell. Like, one of my favorite older sci-fis is what's it called? Around the blah, 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 Starship Troopers. I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about the book. The book is absolutely amazing, and if I remember correctly, the book was written in the 1930s. So, very cool book. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend checking it out. Check it out. It's not a hard read. Definitely an interesting read. Much, much different than the movie. Much, much different than the movie. The movie's a little bit more subtle with certain tones of the movie. I think it was the 30s. If it was not the 30s, then it was for sure the 50s. I have my book somewhere. I'm not sure where it is. Me and my wife were kind of bookworms, or were bookworms for a long time. Comic books, and I have it somewhere in the house. I'm not sure where, but I have it. I haven't read it in many, many years. There's some detriments to partying that hard in your youth too. You know, depending on what kind of partying you're doing, it can also be very bad for your health when you get older. You definitely don't want to do that. You don't want to hurt yourself from getting older. But yeah, I didn't start feeling my age until I hit about 42-ish. Then it started slowly creeping up on me, and it was like, wow, why do I hurt this bad in the morning after doing what I just did like a week ago? Just fine. Why does this hurt so bad? Yeah, getting old isn't fun. It hurts. It hurts. My favorite is when you're very tired and you worked all day and you're super tired and you lay down and you can't go to sleep. That's super fun. Um, Super fun time. Fire, I saw you join the Discord. If you want to talk to people, you got to go to the rules and click the little emoji con thing. I can't remember if it's a thumbs up or a smiley face or what it is. It's been a long time since I looked at the rules. I hope I didn't get disconnected. Looks like I'm still connected. I'm like worried now because of what happened earlier with the disconnect. But yeah, the Starship Trooper book, it's been a very long time since I read it. But if I remember 100% correctly, which I think I am, it was a lot more on the nose about the humans and what they really were. But I believe it's still allowed for a bit of reader interpretation, but it was about a lot more on the nose about what the humans were really about. And Helldivers kind of took that and ran with it. Which I don't know if you guys know this, but the guys that created both Helldivers 1 and 2 are very big tabletop nerds. I don't remember what tabletop games they like playing, but I know that they are very big tabletop nerds. They very much like their tabletop, which is why the first game specifically feels so much like a tabletop game. Oh, yes, yes. There's a big difference between citizens and civilians. And yeah, cyberpunk lore is surprisingly old. You know, most people, they think cyberpunk, they think the video game that came out um a few years ago. Actually, I think it's been more than a few years now. But that's what they generally think of. But cyberpunk stuff goes back a long way. It's kind of been around for a long time. And honestly, I kind of enjoy that type of sci-fi like cyberpunk because for me, you know, augmenting your brain and eyes and things like that, to me, that makes it easier to be manipulated. Um, and I also feel that um, like you can do some really messed up stuff to people, right? It doesn't have to be physical all the time. The amount of anguish that you can put somebody in, it can be mental and psychological anguish that you can put somebody through. And some of the technologies and stuff that they discuss and some of the things that they do with them is absolutely horrifying. And to be honest with you, I kind of like it. Not that I'm a sick individual. I like good stories, and I like it when things go dark, because then it gives, how do I put it? I'm one of those guys that feels that the worse the villain is, or the worse the stuff that the protagonist is going through, the better the story is. Um, Somebody had mentioned Mary Sueism in here earlier. I think that was Fire that mentioned it. I do not like protagonists that can just overcome any obstacle just because they exist. I'm not into that. I like the protagonist having to overcome and adapt and sacrifice to get what he needs to win out the day. I think that makes for a far better story than just overpowering your way through everything. I like, because like if you think about it, you know, even in our everyday life, we struggle to get through the things that we need to get through, right? Whether it's just getting up and going to work. Ghost in the Shell is good too. Um, so once again, in the mid '90s, I had never watched anime until that point. I knew of it. I knew what it was. I just had never watched it. Um, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm biased because, and that's why I didn't watch anime. It just, I never did. And then a friend of mine, he's like, have you ever watched anime? I was like, no. He's like, all right, you're spending the night at my house this weekend and we're watching anime. And I really didn't know what to expect. But the first anime I ever watched was Akira. Akira was first. That was the first movie we watched. And then was Ninja Scroll. That was the second one we watched. Mind you, this was all in one night. The second one I watched was Ninja Scroll. And then the third movie we watched was Ghost in the Shell. Then we fell asleep, and in the morning, we watched Mancross and Mancross Plus, I believe it was called, and that was my introduction to anime. That night over at my friend Scott Peremsky. If you're out there, thank you. I didn't know I needed anime in my life that bad. That was in high school. I want to say that was sophomore year, so like 1997, 96, 97. Oof. Loaded that up just a bit too much. We're gonna have to, I mean, we're doing 2 coats anyways to fix that up. Yeah, that was my first introduction to anime. Akira, Ghost in the Shell, Ninja Scroll, Macross. I'm pretty sure it was no, it was Appleseed. It was Appleseed, that's what it was. Appleseed was the one we watched in the morning, and then I had to ride my bike home. I still think Akira is one of the greatest animes ever made. I've never read Akira. I heard it's way better than what we got anime wise. But then again, I also heard Akira was like, I'm exaggerating, but I also heard Akira was like 968 comics. And they tried to squish that down into a 2-hour anime movie, which cool, I guess. But if there was that much information, and I didn't know this as a kid or young adult or whatever, I didn't know that, so I thought it was awesome. But now knowing that it was such a long running comic, I think they should have made it into a TV show. Whatever. They should have made it episodic, and I would have watched it all. I definitely would have watched it all. I still think Akira is just looking at the art style and everything, and I forget what year that came out. The movie, I forget what year that came out, but I'm still to this day impressed that most of that was hand drawn. It's amazing, absolutely amazing work that they did in that movie. Ninja Scroll was really good too, but they obviously used now it was the 90s, but they definitely used some digital backgrounds and stuff like that. And it's noticeable, but I still think they did a good job. The hand-drawn action sequences in Ninja Scroll are really, really good. But something about Akira just, I don't know, it just makes me feel a way. I really don't know what it is. As I said, I still hands down think Akira is one of the very best animes ever. As I said, and honestly, that kind of, because of that guy, because of Scott, and showing me anime, that's honestly how I got into like Dragon Ball and eventually like Trigun and Samurai Champloo. Oh, that was the other show he showed me. He showed me Ranma Half, which as a kid, I mean, come on, that's adults being borderline pervy and kind of pedophilic. If that's a word, I'm not sure if that's a word. If it's not, I just made it up. Oh, I agree, Zeno. I agree, Zeno. Um, like digital or CGI or computer drawn animation, like it has its place, but something about a human drawing something that beautiful and making it animated is, there's just something about it that hits differently. Um, I don't know what it. I like. I prefer that older art style. I do. I miss it, and I think at the time that was peak Disney. I don't think Disney will ever get as good as they were back then. I don't see it. I mean, you could think otherwise, but I don't. I just don't see it. I don't see it happening. In my opinion, I don't want to get it political in here or anything like that. I just think when, and this is of any company, when you start following an agenda more than you are worried about providing a service or a good to your customer, then your service or your good won't be as good because you're too focused on the agenda. And I believe, like I said, I'm not trying to be political or anything. So whether you believe what Disney is doing is right or wrong, I don't care. I'm just saying that they focused more on the agenda than they did a product or service. And because of that, their product and their service has suffered. But that's just my opinion. I also think, and this can be said for a lot of companies this day and age, I feel that we've gotten away from small creative teams and we're now doing creation by committee, trying to find a way to please the most amount of people to squeeze out the most amount of dollars we can out of said thing. And that's not how creativity works. You know, all of us sitting here in this chat room right now all like different things. Some of us like Warhammer, some of us like Battletech, some people like D&D, and that's fine. I don't have to like Warhammer. The Warhammer guys don't have to like Battletech. That's fine. Each of them have their own place, and the fan base has their own thing to go to when they want to play Warhammer or Battletech or Shadowrun or D&D, whatever the case may be. But I feel like when you start letting an agenda control your creativity and you're putting your time and effort into an agenda instead of your goods or your services, then your goods or your services suffer. And as I said, I'm not trying to be political. So if you think that Disney is woke or left-leaning or whatever, I'm saying that this can happen to the other side as well. But I think the creativity by committee is really, really hurting a lot of companies right now. Not everything is made for everybody. You know, that's why some people like Sonic. That's why some people like Mario. That's why some people like Assassin's Creed, the Assassin's Creed video games, but they don't like what do you call it? What's that? God of War. You know, everybody has their likes and dislikes. Star Trek and Star Wars. Some people like both, some people like one, some people like the other. It's just how it is, guys. You don't have to make everything for everybody. Some people like Sly, some people like Schwarzenegger. You know, it's just how it is, man. It's how it is. Some people do Revolutionary War reenactments. Other guys do Civil War reenactments. Just depends on what you like. D&D is dead. I didn't think D&D was dead, was it? Is it? I mean, I don't know much about D&D at all, because my parents were like, no D&D for you. I never got into it. I never followed it. I know some people say, like, I think it's second edition or third edition is the best D&D ever had. Outside of that, I know nothing. I literally know nothing. Paint this little post back here black. Get his feet, and then I'm going to paint the bottom of his feet gunmetal gray. I have a lot of fixing on this guy to do. That white, the spots that I accidentally hit with blue that I wanted white, that's going to be a bit of a pain to fix. But patience and a lot of white, it'll work. It'll work. I'll make it work, damn it. Make it work. For those of you guys that may or may not be wondering, I don't know, we are listening to, and have been listening to, the MechWarrior 5 soundtrack. It's not my favorite soundtrack. It's definitely got some good tracks on there. But my favorite soundtrack is probably MechWarrior 2, the MechWarrior 2 soundtrack. And also, for those that may or may not know, MechWarrior is directly tied into this universe. So is the people call it HBS, or Hotel Bravo Sigma game. They're all battletech. They're all battletechlore related. Just some of it isn't canonical. That's all. Is that a bad thing? No, I don't think so. But it's not all of it is canonical. So if you go in there and you're like, this event in Battletech or in MechWarrior 4 happened, it's not necessarily canonical. And it was just put in for the video game. So if you play it and you think you're going to learn lore from it, you'll learn some, but not everything that happens in the game is canonical to Battletech. And as I said, that's fine. It doesn't have to be. It definitely doesn't have to be, but just letting you guys know. Just letting you guys know. And if you play Battletech or MechWarrior 5 on computer, which I highly recommend over a console, there are so many freaking mods out there for both those games, it's unbelievable. And they can make the game a very enjoyable experience. I will tell you from my experience, I was not impressed with MechWarrior 5 until the mods came out. And I got to play with the mods. And once the mods started coming out and I started modding my game, holy crap, it turned into a completely different game and is so much better. So much better. I'm not saying games should rely on mods to make them good games, but at least there was a good solid base for them to make their game better by using mods. Because if you don't have a solid base, no mod is going to save it. So, you know what? Hold that thought, guys. I need to use the bathroom. I need to get another drink. So I'm going to pause the music. I'm going to put you guys in a be right back screen, and I will be back in like 5 minutes, okay? And I'm going to click everything there is on the screen. All right, we are back. Let me get my chats back up. See what's going on. Oh, okay. All right. Probably, you know what? Probably not going to continue painting. My wife wants to go to bed. I'm in the bedroom doing this. I set up a little card table. So yeah. I'm going to lightly clean this up, and I'm going to move stuff back to the desk. And we'll just talk some nerd stuff for a little bit before I got to go. Here's my thing. Nacho, what's up? Here's my thing with okay, so I don't know much about D&D, as I said. I don't know if it's dead or not. I mean, you guys are saying it is. If it's dead, I mean, that sucks. D&D was like one of the biggest names in tabletop gaming for a long time. Everybody, if you did tabletop gaming, that's how you were measured, was by you know, if you were competing with D&D. I know that's not the case anymore. Now, if you want to compete, if you want to be in the notable names, you're competing with Games Workshop and Warhammer. But as I was saying, I think it's still crappy that these different game companies are dying off. I think tabletop gaming is just as important now as it was pre-internet and pre-video games. And I honestly think more people should be playing tabletop games, even if you don't like to paint and things like that. And even if you don't want to play what we would consider as traditional tabletop games like Warhammer and Battletech and Shadowrun and D&D and all the others that fall under that umbrella, I think that more people should be playing tabletop games. You know, Axis and Allies, Battleship, Chutes and Ladders, for crying out loud. I really don't care. Like, I believe that tabletop gaming should have a place in everybody's home, at the dinner table or family room table or whatever, wherever you game. I think it's a good friendship and family building activity. You know, couch co-op can be, but I feel that only works to a point. Now here, let me move my stuff. Like I said, I can't keep painting. My wife wants me to clean up here in a little bit so she can go to bed. So hold on 1 minute, guys. Be right back, screen, just so I don't make you guys sick from moving the camera. So hold on just a couple of seconds. I didn't want to make you guys sick moving the camera around. Yes, I know. I don't have my green screen. I know. It's over. Right there. Anyways, now you can look at my ugly mug. Now, as far as Hasbro's concerned and Magic, I think Cosmic is kind of right with the Saturday morning cartoon scene and where we are at right now as far as TV video games go, right? So let me break that down a little bit. I feel that the 80s and the 90s were the golden age for Saturday morning cartoons. And I say that because not just nostalgia, but these video game or these toy manufacturing companies knew they, I hate to say it, but they were tapping into into human psychology, right? Let's take He-Man for an example. He-Man wasn't a TV show first. It was a toy line first, and then it got developed into a TV show or cartoon, whatever you want to call it, right? So, and then, you know, other things came out, right? You know, you had Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let me fix that a little bit. Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all that stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust my camera here. I'm sorry. And you had these TV shows that the toys were based around. Mask, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Silverhawks. I'm trying to remember some of the other big toys. Voltron. These were all huge, right? They were huge back in the day. And they generated a lot of toy sales with kids, obviously, which then propelled people like Hasbro, Mattel into what they are today. Currently, the shows that my kids watch outside of like Bluey, I don't see a large market for toys anymore for a lot of the TV shows that are currently out there. Care Bears. I forgot about the Care Bears. Care Bears, Cabbage Patch Kids, but I don't think Cabbage Patch Kids had a TV show. I could be wrong on that. But I don't like the current state. I hate to say this, but video games dominate everything. YouTube and TikTok dominate a lot of the entertainment area, entertainment sphere, and I don't like it. It's just brain rot. It's all just brain rot. And I'm one of those guys. I'm not creatively, I'm creatively retarded, so to speak. I can't draw like that. I can't come up with fantastic stories like that. But I feel that other people can, and I feel that we are stunting that. We're stunting the masses' ability to find, learn, and appreciate good creative minds, good creative TV shows. And I feel that, sorry, I'm moving all my stuff. I feel that we suffer as people for not having that sort of thing. I'm not saying everybody can create entertainment. I'm just saying that lately, as far as like YouTube shorts, TikTok, it's just brain rot. and it kills people's what's the word I want to use? Attention span. Everybody's looking for that quick dopamine hit. Now. If I don't get it in 15 seconds, I got to move on. I got to find the next thing. I got to find the next dopamine hit. Yeah, I agree, Cosmic. Yes, Zeno, you are absolutely right. Which is why I don't let my kids watch certain things. And what I think is funny is they'll watch some TV shows that are newer, and then I'll show them like Batman the animated series, Thundercats, old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 90s Spider-Man the animated series, X-Men, the old X-Men animated series, and they're like, oh my god, this stuff is so good, oh my god, this stuff is so good. And it's just mind blowing when they watch that stuff, how different they are when they're watching it, because they're not like waiting for the next dopamine hit. They're invested in a story, and they're invested in the characters, they're invested in what's going to happen next, and not just flashy noise on the screen. And yeah, I mean, Thundercats always had a lesson to it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles generally had a lesson to it. It wasn't always, but it generally had a lesson to it. Some sort of failure or something that they had to overcome as the show went on, you know. Same with Batman. Batman always had to overcome something. He was never always just the strongest and the smartest in the room. He was always having to overcome something. And I feel we are missing that in society. I wanted to get back to Magic. So when I first started playing Magic, alpha and beta were still like going around. Yeah, G.I. Joe. Knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe. I loved G.I. Joe when I was a kid. Cobra Commander was like the best bad guy to beat up on. He was awesome. Destro just looked cool. Anyways, as far as Magic is concerned, it seems so. When I played it, you know, it was alpha and beta, Ice Age, and I forget what came after that, but it was like the Japanese one. I can't remember all of them. And sets weren't coming out that fast, and you could play and relate and hang out with people. And then sometime in, it seems to me like the 2000s, it became less about playing the game and being competitive with each other, and more about who's going to spend the most amount of money to make the most dominant deck ever. And I look, I'm not saying competition is bad. I'm not saying, yes, thank you, Zeno. I'm not saying competition is bad. I'm not saying it's terrible for games. I'm just saying that somewhere along the line, we lost Magic the game, and it became Magic the meta. I really don't know how else to describe it other than that. It became Magic the meta. And now, and I'm not making fun of you, Brian, or Cosmic. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying, like, to me, it is just mind blowing. It seems like every other week, Cosmic's showing me like the newest set of Magic cards that are coming out, like the Fallout one, the Final Fantasy one, the Spider-Man ones. Like, what is this? Why are they not making their own cards? Why are they using Fallout and Final Fantasy and all of this other stuff. Like, what happened? Why don't they make their own cards anymore? I don't understand it, and I feel like sets are coming out way too fast. Even when I got real heavy back into playing it again, basically described LGS tournament and casual play. I mean, yeah, like let me grab something real quick if I can reach it. So when I started getting heavily back into Magic was right around the time of 2009 until I forget what year exactly it was, but it was around 2009-ish, 2010-ish, because I remember I got the Core 09 and the Core 10s at that time. And then I remember Zendikar had come out and Eldrazi and a few others. And I really did not like the Eldrazi set. That was when I started getting kind of turned off by the power creep that was happening in Magic. And so I started playing with a group of guys at work, and they had a few other friends that started coming over, and before I knew it, what was a kind of like a 4-man thing kind of turned into a 8 to 10 man thing. And there was 2 of them that they did not work. They had very well off parents, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying this is what it turned into. So the well-off kids, while we were all at work, a new set would come out, like the Eldrazi one, and they would drive over to the local game shop and they would buy 2 and 3 booster boxes worth of the new set, pull everything out that they wanted, sell back what they didn't want, and make the ultimate decks. And some of these decks, like if you were to go to the local card shop and be like, hey, I want this card, you know, some of these cards are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks for a single. And I didn't have that kind of money. And our group of guys basically said, we'll play any cards you want to play. Doesn't matter when they came out, what set they're from, whatever you want to play, you can play. So I went and was reading a few cards and decided, you know what, I'm going to build a deck around this. And at the time, I think my most expensive card I had in here was like $1.50. I don't know what they're worth now, but that was like the most expensive card I had in the deck. So basically I ran a red-black, just a regular lightning bolt. That was one of the cards, just a regular lightning bolt. But then I combined it with these 2 cards. I decided this is how you do it. This is how you do it. So then I used a Liliana's Caress. If you can't read that, it's kind of hard to read. And the closer I get, the more out of focus it gets. So whenever an opponent discards a card, that player loses 2 life. That's an enchantment. Another enchantment I would try to get out at the same time is Megrim. Megrim, if you can't read that, whenever an opponent discards a card, Megrim deals 2 damage to that player. I would use this to load up their hand. Whoop. Come on. So this is Signed in Blood, target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. Then I'd give them the good old mind rot. Target player discards 2 cards. I'm sure you guys can see where this is going, right? Another one of my more expensive cards to cast. Blightning. Let's see, are you going to pick up the words here? Blightning deals 3 damage to target player. That player discards 2 cards. That's a sorcery. Got another sorcery here. This one's really fun. It also hurts real bad too. If you have Megrim and Liliana's Caress out. Sorcery. Each player draws 3 cards and then discards 3 cards at random. I'm sure you guys figured out the theme of this deck. And then I think it was, I can't remember if it was this card or the Blightning card, but this is one of the more expensive cards in that deck. Are you going to pick up? Are you going to pick up? So if you can't read that, it says, copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. So basically, I'm just causing people to pick up cards, take 2 damage, discard 2 cards, take 2 to 4 damage a pop, and then multiply it as much as I can, as fast as I can. And as you guys saw, most of these cards are 2 to 3 mana to cast, so you can start rolling damage out really fast. I mean, lightning bolt is just lightning bolt. You just hit them for 3 damage straight up. And the whole thing is just fill their hands up with cards and then make them get rid of their cards and take all the damage. But yeah, I did that because people in our group were going out and spending gobs of money to make these ultimate decks, and it kind of sucked when you're sitting there playing and all of a sudden somebody throws out a 12-12 12-12 flying indestructible with trample Eldrazi on it, colorless, and the only way you can kill it is with something colorless. It's like, come on, man, this is ridiculous. Resource denial is my favorite. Stompy coming in second. My friends hate when I even suggest land destruction. Land destruction decks are super aggravating to play against. I like proliferation decks very much. One of my favorite proliferation decks I have is a elf proliferation deck. All it's made to do is just get mana out as fast as I can, whether it's using elves for mana or using forest or land for mana, and then just dropping out. When this elf comes into play, you get 2/1/1 elf tokens. When this elf comes into play, every elf on the battlefield gets +1/+1 or +0/+2, and I just keep stacking them and stacking them and stacking them, and there's just nothing anybody can do because I got this army of like 50 elves, you know, like five cards, and the rest are just 1/1 tokens, or if I've buffed them, you know, 2/2s, 3/3s, 4/4s. Super fun. I also like playing goblin decks. Goblin decks can be just absolutely disgustingly bad. There's nothing these days. That's nothing. These days I have hit people with a jumbo Cactor for 10,000 life gain on turn 4. So if you manage blocking menace creature, you're still not... How the hell are you getting 10,000 life? Are you exaggerating about 10,000 life? Or are you like serious? Like you're getting actual 10,000 life? I hope you're exaggerating, because if that's where Magic is at these days, I don't know if I want to come back and play again. That's ridiculous. I mean, that's as bad as like, God, what is that one angel? I can't remember if she was a reprint or not. She's 4/4 with flying, indestructible. Shit's so annoying. Or like Nightmare back in the day was disgusting as well. It's XX for every it's flying trample XX with X equal to the number of swamps you control. Oh my God, that's disgusting. That is disgusting. You'll have to send me a picture of that card in the Discord. That is horrifyingly disgusting. That's awful. How does that even exist? How is that even fun to play against? I don't know, man. Like that's crazy. I couldn't even imagine that. Proliferation decks are so much fun. They're so much fun. I really like goblin decks too. Just throwing out goblins. You know, one enters the battlefield, does 1 damage to target player or creature. Another one comes in, do 1 or 2 damage to a creature. Goblin commander comes in. Everybody gets like, what is it, 2/1. There's another goblin commander type that allows what's it called when you attack but they don't tap? Swift attack or something like that. I can't remember. That's a low tier A deck, not even competitive. That's horrifying to think about, Cosmic. That's absolutely horrifying to think about. Guys, I had a lot of fun painting tonight. I got a lot more to do. I got a second coat to do on all 4 of those in the blue, and then I got to fix a couple of spots where I got blue I didn't want to. But that's okay. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I can fix it. I can fix it. Uh-oh. Cosmic sent me a picture of it. What the fuck? What is this? Jumbo Cactar. 5 of any color, 2 forest, creature plant, 10,000 needles. Whenever this creature attacks, it gets plus 9,999 plus 0 until end of turn. What the hell? How does that become fun anymore? And I thought it was bad when I had a land ramp deck. I thought it was bad when I had a land ramp deck and I could like spit out 10 10s and 10 12s on like turn 4. Like I thought that was bad, but that is horrifying. That is horrifying. Like seriously, that is horrifying. What is that? What set did that come out of? I don't know what symbol that is. I'm not up to date on my Magic. What is that? Is that Final Fantasy? It gets distorted when I make it bigger. Is that from Final Fantasy? That's probably from Final Fantasy. That looks like something from Final Fantasy. Yeah. Yep, it's Final Fantasy. It's Final Fantasy. So, trying to think what to leave you guys with. And like I don't think Pagan's streaming. Let me take a look. Hold on a second, guys. Let me see if Pagan's streaming. Somebody. I really, competitive decks these days win on like turn 1, 2, 3. What the absolute fuck is that? How is that a game? That's not a game. That's a massacre. That's an ass whooping. Like that's not even a game. Like how is that a game? Let me see if I can. Let me see here. Hey. I don't think he has his redirect on. And that's fine. He's a freaking 6 times my size channel anyways. Most of those decks are locked behind an income wall. Before I go, I want to leave you guys with something Battletech related. The highest wall in the verse. You're not wrong about that, Cosmic. You're not wrong about that. So I'm going to leave you guys with some Battletech stuff right now. I'm going to be playing with my daughters. They've been patiently awaiting me to finish painting minis and whatnot. Before I get into this, there are 2 different types of rule sets. There's classic Battletech and then there's Alpha Strike. The difference between the two is classic Battletech takes a lot longer to play and is generally played between 1 and 4 mechs per side. So 1 mech to 4 mechs. That's generally the biggest they go. And they take a very, very long time to resolve and play through the entire game. But that being said, hold on. That being said, this box, Battletech, a game of armored combat, it can be had for about $50, and inside you get 12 models, cards to go with all 12 models, dice, fold out map, playing map, punch out cards, so you can use little cardboard stand-ins, and those are tournament and casual legal. You can use those on either. Some record sheets, primer, and a 20% off coupon for your next purchase. So for $50 you're getting a lot, right? You're getting a lot. The next thing I want to show you is Battletech Alpha Strike. Now, Battletech Alpha Strike, you don't get quite as many mechs. Hold on. Oh no, you get the game of armored combat, you get 12. So this one you get 12. You get 12 mechs. This one you get 13. So you get 8 inner sphere mechs, 5 clan mechs. I won't get into that whole distinction right now. And then the same thing, you get cardboard punch outs, fold out map, some structure, some punch out some cardboard punch outs for some structures like buildings and stuff, a little primer, and all the cards to go with the different mechs if you want to play Alpha Strike. And Alpha Strike is the faster version of the game, and you can play that between 1-on-1, and I've heard of people playing with a company to 2 companies worth of mechs. We'll be playing Alpha Strike, me and my daughters, and we're going to play just 4s on 4s. But I believe this one retails on the back for $79.99. I bought this for, I want to say it was like $40 on Amazon. And this one was $60 on Amazon. This one was, I want to say $50 on Amazon. So just watch for sales and you can get them. The other cool thing before I go, I don't have the box for it. You can get a little box like this, and it comes with 4 to 5 mechs in it, depending on if you're buying Inner Sphere or Clan. And those can cost anywhere between $20 and $35. So this stuff is a lot cheaper to get into than Warhammer. Warhammer, I was looking at 12 models and it was $150. I got, for less than $150, I got 25 models. 25 models for a little under $100 or a little over $100. Whereas $150, I get 12 and that's it. So 26 models, 5. Yes, you can definitely do that. You definitely can do that. You can play with 2, 3, 4 people. You can come up with different objectives, like say, you can do capture the flags, or you can, whether you use a Hot Wheels car or whatever, you can do like escort the VIP. They're in a vehicle, you got to escort them across the map, and the other players are trying to kill them. There's a lot of different, whatever game objective you want to come up with, you can come up with, and you can play it that way. And you can have people, you can have an attacker and a defender. You can have an attacker, a defender, and a third party come in. You can do all sorts of stuff. There's rules for if you want to play that way, and then sometimes you might have to make up kind of your own in-house rules when you start talking 2 and 3 and 4 people. But once you play, I would say play 1v1 first and learn how to play it, and then add more people after that. And I think you'll have a lot of fun. And last but not least, is my other book here. Yeah, it's here. I want to grab that real quick. So back in the day, and this still is a thing, you can play campaign rules and you can play advanced rules. Now, both of these boxes are only really going to give you the basic rules. Both Alpha Strike and a game of Armored Combat. The game of Armored Combat is much more in depth, very, very in depth. But you can take it a step further, and this is an older rule book, but you can get the newer versions. This has everything in it for like weapon attacks, fighting in water, fighting underwater, fighting in vacuums, smoke, aerospace assets, the way fire is traveling, you name it, they have a rule for it. Some of these rules don't apply. This is a 30-year-old book, almost 30-year-old. Yeah, it's a 31-year-old book. So some of these rules are not in the newest version of BattleTech. I mean, you want to play with infantry, they got infantry. You want to play with let's see, do they have them here? I know it's here somewhere. You want to play with aerospace assets, they got aerospace assets. Whatever you want to do, they have. It makes the game longer or more complicated, but if you want to do that, you got it. Last but not least, this is also a 30 or 31-year-old book. This is called the Tactical Handbook. Most of this information is borderline outdated and obsolete. Some of it still applies. This book has this book has double blind rules. So like back in the day before there was an internet, if you wanted to do phone games, you could do phone games. You can do mail in, you can mail your moves in, mail your attacks, and then, you know, wait 2 weeks and they can mail your results back. There's also, they call them operational game. That's like your campaigns. So salvaging, repairs, injuries, recovery, hiring new mech pilots, buying new mechs, buying new mech weapons. That's all got a value to it. It's all got role values to it. Combat value. For a long time, I don't want to get too deep into it. For a long time, people would do tonnage versus tonnage. But even if you have two 100-ton mechs, not every 100-ton mech is equal to the other. There are several 100-ton mechs that are shit, and then there are several 100-ton mechs that are absolutely amazing. So it didn't work out so well. So they came out with combat values or battle values. Combat values are old and obsolete. Now they have battle values. Battle values would give a much better approximation of your size of force and what you had in it. Whereas tonnage, like I said, you could have two 50-ton mechs and on paper they look the same, but when you start fighting them, one is clearly better than the other. Sometimes that's not the case, but generally that's the case. If you were to be like, hey, I'm going to bring X, I can't think of a 50-tonner off the top of my head, and then somebody's bringing like a Wolverine, you could, once they get in close, you could be deep shit, or you could be at range and be in deep shit. It just depends, right? So battle value made it a little bit more fair and easier to figure out how to make equivalent forces to each other. So yeah, I'll be here for a couple more minutes. So anybody want to ask any questions or make a silly, crazy statement? Got a hot take? I got a couple more minutes and then I got to go. I think Battletech is just overall a neat game, a neat universe. Any of you that haven't checked it out, you can see the intro to Battletech that I did on my video, or watch anybody else's. Doesn't matter. I just want people to get involved in Battletech. I think it's a really cool universe. I think it's a very cool setting, and I think that I like I said earlier, I think we need to get back to playing tabletop games, whether it's wargaming or Monopoly. I don't really care. I think having that person-to-person interface, that meeting, that competitive juices flowing between two people, I think it's a very good thing to have. And you know, even if your thing is Magic, collectible card games, I don't care if it's the Battletech collectible card game. Yes, we had a Battletech collectible card game. The Star Wars collectible card game, the Star Trek collectible card game. Yes, I owned all of them. I had Battletech, Star Trek, Star Wars, and Magic all at one point. I have them all. I still have my Battletech collectible card game cards somewhere in the house. They're somewhere around here. I have them. But yeah, I think we need to bring back face-to-face tabletop gaming. I think we get lost in the newest video games, the newest entertainment piece that's we're disconnecting with people. We're disconnecting with people big time. Oh, I think with kids it's even more important, but I think even then as an adult, you know, I don't know where you live, and I'm not going to assume to be like just it's easy for you to go to a local game shop, but if you have access to a local game shop or a library that allows it, find a group of gamers. I once I get through my little rough spot, I found a battletech gaming group about 2 hours away from here. So I'm gonna, once things settle down and we're kind of back to normal, I'm going to drive up there and try to get a game. And even if I don't get into a game, just meet some people. I think OBS dropped. Let's see if I'm still connected. Still connected. Looks like it. Looks like I'm still going. Looks like it. Looked like we're still going. Okay. We're good. We're good. We are good. All right, guys, I'm going to call it here. It was a ton of fun. I'm going to try to do another stream, probably not tomorrow, but Friday or Saturday late night. Late night for me anyways. I don't know what time you guys are all around, but it'll probably be late night for me. I hope to see you guys there. I'm not sure if I'm going to paint some more or do some video game stuff or just sit here and be a talking head for a little while, but I plan on doing one this weekend. After that, streams are kind of going to dry up for a while, as I told you the reasons why. If you haven't, click the link to join the Discord. Join the other channel, that's in the description as well. And you know, all that stuff. I love talking to you guys. I love nerd shit. And you guys have a great night. So long. Thanks for all the fish. And we'll see you next time.